7 is the number of mind, the most mysterious, the most uncanny, and one of the most important numbers in magic. 7 has a connection to the moon. Since ancient days, the cycle of life and death on earth is connected with the phases of moon. The 4 phases of moon consist of 7 days each, and this relates moon to time. We have 7 days in a week. 7 is also known to be called the magical number by the psychologists around the world. Countless psychological experiments have shown that, on an average, the longest sequence a normal person can remember on the fly contains about 7 items. The typical capacity of what is called the brain's working memory or the short-term memory.
To understand what the other person is saying, you must assume that it is true and try to imagine what it could be true of. Imagining what it could be true of is another way of saying to consider the circumstances of the truth, but to also imagine what must be true for the speaker's truth to make sense. And that is Miller's Law. Yes, geeky glasses? Well, it could have been explained better. Then why don't you explain it? Yeah, but the topic of discussion has to be introduced first, isn't it? Okay guys, so as you know that we are discussing the relationship convoy and we are discussing how all the other life path numbers, all the life path numbers from 1 to 9 would be relating to each other. Presently we have reached the life path 7 and in this particular log we are going to find out how all the life path numbers from 1 to 9 would be relating to the life path 7. But before that you need to know how to find your life path number or what your life path number is. All my regular viewers are already aware of this very important number in their lives. For all of you who are viewing my log for the first time, you can go through it quickly. I'm just showing you how to calculate.
Say if you're born on the 3rd of November 1987, you would add 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7, and the final single base digit that you would derive by the addition and reduction method would be a 3. So you got to keep on adding like this and reducing unless you finally arrive to a single digit. For relationship compatibilities, we always use the final single digit. So all of you guys who even have the master numbers like 11 or multiples of 11, you all also need to reduce your master number codes to a single digit code that it finally reduces into. Now the life path number is actually one of the 5 primary numbers that we have. Checking the compatibility between all the 5 primary numbers gives us the most accurate match. However, as the life path number is the one which has the most profound impact upon us, so in this particular log, we are going to majorly discuss the compatibilities between the life path numbers. Now, here we have the 4 compatibility categories. As I'll be advancing in the log, I'll be talking about all of it. We got natural matches, compatible numbers, neutral match numbers, challenge and toxic numbers. Natural matches, as the name suggests, are the best matches to each other. Then we have compatible numbers, which are good matches to each other. Neutral matches can be good, bad, ugly, either ways. Finally, we have challenge numbers, and these are the ones which are the most difficult matches.
7 is a number which is known for its intense qualities, deep wisdom, interest in philosophy, psychology, spirituality, basically anything to do with exploring. Last time you did the 5, you said 5 explores. Now you say 7 explores. Make your mind. Yeah, correct. Both the numbers are explorers, both seek truth, and both have a lot of curiosity. What's the difference? The difference is 5 is looking for experiences outside in the world and exploring outside in the world, and 7 is exploring in the depths of its own mind. Many great writers, poets, movie makers, artists, and even astrologers, numerologists, psychologists, or philosophers are seen to be having this particular number.
But how do you think all of it relates to the Miller's Law?
Well, it has been a benchmark in psychology, and the rest of it you know better, so you can explain better.
Well, I am a person of few words.
Well, in that case, let me try. Say you have a crazy person, and the crazy person says, "My toaster is talking to me." Are you crazy? How can a toaster talk?
Believe me, I just heard.
You are kidding me. Nothing I say makes sense to you ever. You think my feelings don't have any meaning?
No, I don't think that. I think you should be thinking the right thing.
I know, you don't have to explain further. For you, all what you think is correct and all what I say is wrong. You are so disgusting.
Miller's Law says such argument is completely unnecessary and useless. To avoid it, you must think from the crazy person's point of view. Think whatever the crazy person is saying makes a lot of sense and imagine what the crazy person could imagine of.
So once again, think that there is a crazy person and the crazy person says, "My toaster is talking to me."
What does it say?
It says, "I'm tired of toasting."
The poor toaster has been toasting every morning. Let's do one thing. Let us talk to the oven about it.
No arguments. You see, sometimes the sevens come up with such brilliant methods of ignoring people. By the way, you could at least look at me. I was trying to talk about you.
Oh yes, I am looking at you.
Now, that is too much. Let's anyways begin with our first combo, 1 and a 7. One is a number which is very sure of itself and makes very quick decisions. 7 is a number which thinks a lot in the mind.
The problem with the world is that the intelligent people are full of doubts and the stupid ones are full of confidence.
Excuse me? Know what? This is the problem. How else can a 7 make the 1 feel so very ignored and so very unimportant? 1 just hates it. 1 has a huge ego and 1 can take anything but this.
Aren't we supposed to be natural matches?
Yeah, the 1 and the 7 is a natural match combination, but the problem is 1 is a very extrovertish kind of a number. 1 is very vocal about all its feelings. And the 7 is a very introvertish kind of a number, and it often shuts down and stops expressing itself and stops communicating. But the 7 has to remember that the communication between the two has to be on, because 1 needs to feel very enthusiastic and needs to feel like the leader, and only an effective communication can make that happen. Only then a deadly combo can actually happen between the two, because 7 has a lot of in-depth ideas and 1 has a lot of enthusiasm and enterprise to make all these ideas gain shape in reality. Well, to begin with, this one is a toxic combination, but the two are surprisingly compatible.
The last one you said was a natural match, and you said there would be a communication gap. And this one is a toxic, and you say it's compatible.
You see, numbers are grouped in a natural match category according to the qualities that they exhibit. 157 is a natural match category, and there is a very strong point, a common point between them. That is, all the 3 numbers are very free thinkers and very, very individualistic. 248 is another natural match category, and there is a very strong common point that they have, that all the 3 numbers are very, very practical. 369 is the third natural match category, and they are all very creative.
So the 2 and 7 think differently.
Yeah, in certain ways very different, in certain ways very similar also.
Similar?
Yeah, both the numbers have a very strong intuitive bent of mind, and that can be a very strong connection between the two. They have a lot of possibilities of growth on the spiritual plane. But don't you think 2 is sometimes a nag? Oh, no, no, I don't agree with that. All that the 2 needs is assurance of love, and once it finds it, there is no other number as cooperative as. Once again, a toxic combo. The previous toxic was actually compatible, and you said that the numbers had a lot of similarities. Now, what are the similarities here? None. Uh huh. But then, the combination can be supplementary. Okay, you don't need to console me with that. Console yourself. I mean it, you see. Earlier in one of my logs, I had been talking about the number 3, and I had been saying that the 3 is a very friendly, jovial, a very creative, and a very lively kind of a vibration. And the 3 often happens to miss out on details or scatters its energies. 7, on the other hand, has a deep concentration and has all the attention to the minute details. So if you blend the two, it can happen to be a deadly combination. But what about the unending blabbering the 3 does? It is sometimes so very annoying. Just pretend to listen to that. And what about the 3 wanting to be with a lot of people all the time? Gathering a crowd always. I want to be alone sometimes. And what is so difficult to understand in that? Okay, my advice to the 3 is don't take all this nonsense very personally. Okay, guys, so we have the 7 and we have the 4. Hi, 7. Hi. Hi, 4. Mm-hmm. Meet each other. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How cold. Why aren't you guys excited? Oh, I am excited. Wow. Me too. You know what? Both of them do not like talking much, and they are very comfortable with each other's silence. But how would they know what's actually playing in their heads? Does that matter? No. You know what? Both the numbers are very secretive. Both of them are going to have a lot of secrets, and no one is going to share the secrets with the other guy. Does it matter? Which part? If I have things that I can't tell you. What do you mean by the things that I don't want to tell? Those things, you see. What are those things? Things which we must not discuss. Okay. The 7 is continuously looking for insights, and the 4 wants to continuously learn and learn. 4 has more of a practical bent of mind and is involved in a lot of practical planning, while the 7 is exploring the depths of creative imagination. And together they're going to create a very wholesome learning experience, and yes, this combination is very compatible, yeah. Once again, a natural match combo. I know how the last natural match combo was. Now, what can I do if you don't like to make friends at all? 5 feels life is a party and we are here to celebrate, and 7 feels, oh, that's too much of a noise. Now, both the numbers have a certain need to travel very extensively, but both would do it very differently. 5 is more interested in meeting a lot of people, going to new places, and having a lot of adventure. And 7 is a number which would be just quietly absorbing everything around it, quietly absorbing the nature. And when I use the word quiet, 5 is the last number to be very quiet. It is always wanting to be doing this or that or something or the other, and its restlessness might really, really irritate the 7. Not to mention the 5 keeps on suspecting people. It just wants to find out everything about everything. It kind of does a post-mortem of all things. Yeah, that is correct, and I agree with it absolutely. 5 has a lot of curiosity, and whenever the curiosity is expressed negatively, it can become suspicion, and 5 might be suspecting everything and everyone around it. And 5 has toxic combo. How does it matter toxic or not? Even the natural matches are seeming to be difficult for me. Because you feel that you don't want to be understood. You're too secretive about yourself. However, you're always reading everyone around you and you're too good with that. As a matter of fact, you're reading more. You're actually reading in between the lines. You're reading more than what is said. I know you're listening. Well, are you? Well, I'm trying to concentrate. And 6 is a number which is very serious about relationships, it is very serious about family, and it is every now and then wanting to talk about household activities and responsibilities. You know what? We need some household articles and we need to get some groceries. Didn't we just go last month? It was last month. We use things every day, we eat every day. Okay, I'm getting back to you on that. Well, I need to talk now. Now, guys, this issue has to be sorted between the two. The 7 needs a lot of space every time, and 6 needs to be heard and needs to talk at this point of time. And this is where the mutual understanding has to be built upon. Thank God, finally we have someone who understands the 7. And that would be another 7. Yeah, perfect compatibility, perfect understanding, and completely in sync with the spiritual and the philosophical world. And perhaps a disconnect with the material world. Sainthood. Yeah, but just decide who's gonna pay the bills. This one is a toxic. Yes, geeky glasses. 8 has strength, energy, and foresight. 7 has wisdom, intellect, in depth ideas. It has a lot of intuition. Just imagine if the two decide to work together, what can really happen? But the point is, would they care to understand each other? Or would they just feel that the other person is all wrong? And if that happens, they might just totally disagree with each other. 8 might feel that the 7 uselessly thinks upon subjects which do not translate into money, and 7 might feel that 8 is too overpowering and too calculated. Well, technically speaking, this is a toxic combination. Say something new. Well, this vibration can, however, be very compatible because both the vibrations seek the same thing: spiritual growth and wisdom. And once again, I would like to emphasize upon a point that for any relationship to work out, it is very important for both the numbers to be on the positive ends of their number vibrations. A negative 1 can be ruthless and self-centered. A negative 2 is manipulative. A negative 3 scatters its energies. A negative 4 is very rigid. A negative 5 or even a negative 7 can become an addict. A negative 6 can be destructive. A negative 7 can be very cynical. A negative 8 can be very emotionlessly materialistic. And a negative 9 is always living in the past and always whining about old family issues. When we are at the positive ends of our number vibrations, we value, respect, understand, and appreciate each other. And even the most toxic combinations can work that way. When we are at the negative ends of our number vibrations, we might not even be able to make the most compatible combinations work. So, if the 9 is continuously whining and living in the past, the 7 would become further more cynical and withdrawn. Both the numbers would stop appreciating each other, and the otherwise such a magnificent chemistry would be totally ruined. Intense. Now I feel a sense of connection. Oh, that was fast. I was about to say goodbye. Thank God you decided to spare them. For me to be upset with you, I must first value your opinion. Oh, really? Now, if you have liked watching the log, you can like, comment, share, or subscribe for more updates. And in my next log, I would be talking about the relationships for life part 8. And till then, know your numbers, be your numbers, and keep coming back for more. Enough. Now, I'm done. Do not disturb.